me, Mario!
What's good, my fine ladies and gentlefolk? Welcome to Honest Reviews, the show where I take a game and examine it and give you my honest thoughts by the end of it, cutting all the bullshit. In today's episode, Super Mario 64. There's no denying that this game absolutely, it just sent the 3D market absolutely into the sky. If this game didn't exist, it is safe to assume that the 3D games we have today would not be of the quality they are. Well, if I can even say that, because I'll be honest, today's 3D games are mainly just, pick up, play, get a gun, fuck each other up. They're just all shit. But anyways, Mario 64. Yeah, this game just absolutely defined the gaming genre back then in the days. It continued what the original Super Mario Bros. Started, but enhanced it to HD, as they would call it back then, into a world of polygons and pixels destroyed. It was magnificent, and the Nintendo 64, it brought along all these other consoles, but like the PlayStation and stuff. But what exactly made this game so successful, and why is it praised all around the world? Well, that's why I'm here today to examine the game and tell you what I think of the game, because recently I finished it on my playthrough channel, or I should say on this channel, the playthrough, that's why I'm making a video on it. As you can tell, this isn't scripted because it's honest reviews. I want to give my honest thoughts on the game and cut the bullshit, which I can easily just write into a script. So, anyways, sit back and enjoy. If you don't agree with me, that's completely fine. I understand that. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Let's get on with it. Okay, that's enough pickles and pimples. Let's kick off with the story. So, the story, as you'd expect from a Mario game, is actually very simple. Princess Peach invites Mario to the castle for some cake, which we all know what that means, you dirty whore. And essentially, she gets kidnapped by Bowser, and then we have to go out and find her, rescue her, and kick Koopa's ass. Yeah, that's basically the story. It's as simple as you'd expect from a Mario game, but it works. Like, considering the game is obviously the one of the first 3D games ever made, and one of the best for that matter, is the story doesn't have to be all Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy. It just needs to be simple and clean. Kingdom Hearts reference totally intended. So, that's the story. That's enough of that. Let's talk about this gameplay. Oh, and this was the first main Mario game to have him voiced. I mean, if you want to count that really weird Mario Kart game, for the PC that came out before this did as Charles Martinet's debut, then you do that. But it wasn't a mainstream Mario game. It was just like a little spin-off for the kiddies or the adults, whatever. So I'm going to consider this as his first appearance. And Jesus Christ, this man is perfect as Mario. Like, let's just be honest. Universe, let's all make a prayer. Universe, this man cannot die. Okay, continuing. So, yeah, this was the first 3D Mario game. And you'd expect, oh, yeah, it's the first 3D game, made by Nintendo. The Nintendo 64 controller is a piece of shit, so it's not gonna be that great. Well, my friends, you are mistaken. This game controls fucking beautifully. It's actually one of the best controlling games I've ever played, I'll be honest. It even rivals the likes of Super Mario Odyssey. And that game came out in 2017. How do you go from absolutely brilliant in 2016, 17, I forgot what I was saying, and it matches the quality back then in 1996. Like, what? That's incredible. And as you can tell, Mario has a really diverse moveset, which you could essentially call him a breakdancer at this point. But the game controls fantastically. Moving on. So the only way I thought to myself, the way I could present this video is by talking about each level individually, because the game only has 15 levels, I believe it's 15 anyway, just off the top of my head. And, I just thought it'd be the best way to talk about the levels individually, because the game isn't as long as Super Mario Odyssey or Sunshine. It's just a short little, 5-hour, 6-hour pick up and play type game, which I appreciate. It's one of the first things, Nintendo did in 3D. You have to cut it some slack. But anyways, level 1, Bob-on Battlefield. And yeah, you access levels by jumping into paintings. It's weird. But the way the game is structured, you access levels in paintings, obviously. But then, as you progress, you will get different missions for each level. So Bob-on Battlefield and every other level for that matter has 6 different missions, along with a hidden 100 coin star mission. I'm surprised I even said that on the first try. That's a tongue twister, coin star, 100 coin star. It's a really, it's a tongue twister if you try and say it off the top of your head without reading anything for the first time. It's, it's weird. It's really weird. I can't explain it. Anyways, so Bob on Battlefield is essentially the tutorial level if you don't count the outside hub world as your little dickabout place. So Bob on Battlefield is it's one of the smaller levels in the game. All the levels are quite small, to be honest with you. But it's very, very, diverse with the different paths you can take and all these little different secrets and tricks you can pull off here. It's genuinely fantastic way of introducing the player to the game and the mechanics and how everything works, how levels are structured, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's basically one giant Minecraft world. You can do as you please in it as long as, you stick to the main objective, which is, just do what you came to do, whether that be build, grief, or in this case, collect power stars. And the power stars are, the castle's energy source, you could say, the positive energy of the castle, kind of like the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic Adventure. How they got the positive energy, blah blah blah. I'm waffling. Anyways, so the main goal of each mission is to collect a power star, and what the power stars do is they essentially allow you to free Princess Peach by the end of the game. So yeah, that's Bob on Battlefield. Moving on. So our next level is Womp's Fortress, and this is easily one of the greatest, and when I say I mean it, one of the greatest Mario levels ever made. It's small, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and mainly it's just great to revisit. Like obviously it's not got as much replayability as you want because there's only 7 stars per level, and you just gotta get through the level. But this level, Jesus Christ, there's a few different paths you can take. There's multiple options of how to, get your objective, whether that be to chip off Womp's block, climb the tower, collect 100 coins, do the thing with the sleeping piranha plants, destroy the wall. There's all these different things you can do in this one tiny little level, and this one tiny little level is fun. Whether, it's your first time playing, you're an experienced player, whatever. This level will never be boring, simply because of how fun it is. It's simple, it's versatile, and the most importantly, it is fun. And I can't stress that enough. This game and this level is fun. And that's what you got to remember about Mario 64. It may be the first, 3D Mario game and one of the first 3D games out there, but this game can bundle together more fun than all of the classic Mario games combined. It's fucking fantastic. And it's all thanks to this one level, in my opinion. Okay, next, moving on. So our next point of interest is Jolly Roger Bay, and this level is famous for its song. Oh my god, this song is fucking amazing. As is the rest of the soundtrack. This game just has a bloody brilliant soundtrack. Anyways, Jolly Roger Bay. This is probably the first, it's not a bad level, but it's probably one of the first badder levels in the game, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not as fun as Bob on Battlefield or as fun as Womp's Fortress, but at the same time, you still can get enjoyment from it. It really does depend on which star you're going for, because some stars can be a pain in the ass, such as the red coins or the 100 coins, because the coins in this level are far from generous. There's literally 103, so that you have pretty much no room for error. Or you could get a really fun one like Free the Eel, because it's easy, it's simple, and it's fun. That's a big word. That's a word I'm going to be using a lot. Here's a drinking game. Take a shot every time I say the word fun. Not counting that one. You will be dead. Anyways, so yeah, the level just has a lot to do in it. There's all these different sub areas, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's a big level, probably one of the bigger ones. But it's still kind of small. But it's not one of the better ones, which is it is a real shame. But it gave us that monstrosity. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this level. Moving on. Next up, we have Cool Cool Mountain with a song just as annoying as your Grandpappy's War Stories. Anyways, so Cool Cool Mountain is probably one of the better Snummy levels in the game. Probably the best, if not the best. I don't fucking know what to say. Yeah, the level it doesn't have much to comment on. I mean, yeah, you've got this big race. You got a race with a penguin. That's cool. I guess you can return the penguin to its mummy. You can get all these other stars. Help a snowman that's been decapitated by something. I don't fucking know. Get all these stars. Win a race. Did I mention you could also win a race? Yeah, this slide is probably the best part of the level. It's fun. Oh, there we go. There's another shot. You know, fucking chug that shit. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's not the best looking level in the game. I mean, this secret tunnel looks like a Swiss roll with, you know, like a tundra camo from fucking Modern Warfare 2. I just really don't know what to say. I really should have structured this. Actually, that would have been nice. But it's honest reviews. You know, I can't script it because I could be bullshitting. This is off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this level, if you can't tell. But at least it was made better in 64DS, if that counts. No, does it for? All right, next level. Finally, a level I can actually fucking talk about. Anyways. Cooper's Road, aka Bowser in the Dark World. Oh my goodness, yes. These levels I can actually comment about. Simply because these are my favourite levels in the game. Not, you know, because of the fucking amazing soundtrack in the background. Well, you know, it's partially because of that. It just sounds amazing. These levels, prepare the shots, are really, really fun. Because these levels act as the build-up to the boss, which, if you don't know what the boss is, if you know, you can't tell by the word, is, you know, Big Daddy Bowser. This is the build-up to the fight, and it's perfect. It's a platforming challenge that you know, the game makes you think Bowser has set for you, and, you know, evilly constructed himself, which is brilliant. The levels themselves, they can be really difficult sometimes, which itself is brilliant, because, you know, the game wants you to think this is Bowser's trap. Because, you know, if you can't tell by the way into this level, you get tricked by a picture of Peach, which you are, you know, you think you have to jump into, but no, it turns out it's a trap, which is, you know, obvious by the time it fades. But let's just think of this in Mario's perspective. This is genius. This is absolute genius. I love it. The build-up, you know, the build-up music is perfect. The build-up level is perfect. These set of levels are perfect. But this one on its own, yeah, this is probably the second best one. And I love it. I just love it. So let's talk about Daddy himself. Okay, so this music bangs, let's be honest. But why does Bowser look like he's just been stung by a fucking bee? Get over that one. Anyways, so Bowser, this music makes him sound really intimidating. He looks intimidating, you know, for the time and stuff. But what do I think of this boss in general? Or I should say these bosses in general. They're a piece of shit. But they're not entirely bad. I mean, they can come as a challenge as to newcomers, and they are really fun to play through every now and then. But as a boss fight itself, considering there's only 3 main bosses in the game, yeah, they're not the best. I mean, the final one's pretty good, but we're not talking about that just yet. But all you need to do is grab him by his ass and throw him into a bomb that he's very stupidly placed there himself, or rented out an arena with bombs. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Anyways, yeah, so then the Bowser fights, he turns into a key. Hang on. He turns into a key which we use to open doors. So, yeah, that's Bowser. Switching subjects from the levels really quickly, we're going to talk about the different abilities Mario has now. Obviously, in this game, as you could tell by playing through it or just looking at it, there are a lack of power-ups in this game, you know, like the Fire Flower or the Mushroom, or the fucking Mini Mushroom, if you can count. That is something that's special. Wait, that wasn't a thing back then. Never mind. Instead, you get these different caps, which you unlock by going to bonus levels. And, yeah, I mean, the decent challenges. I mean, the wing one involves you just flying around in circles. This vanish one here involves you going down the sewers of the castle, which are fucking massive. And then the metal cap involves you having to navigate through like a water cave. Yeah, they're not very good. But basically, they serve as, you know, optional power-ups. For the most part, but then you'll need them for certain styles. So they are really wasted, if anything, but it's nice. But in the DS version, I mean, these abilities are just given to different characters, which fixes it. Right? Okay, that's enough of my stupidity. So, the basement levels. These are the worst set of levels. If not, no. I wouldn't call them the worst, actually. I don't know, I have to think about that, but yeah, it varies. So basically, these aren't the worst levels in the game. Well, some of them are, but I don't know. These levels just feel like a serious downgrade. Like, yeah, fair enough, these aren't tutorial levels anymore. This is the real deal. But at the same time, these levels just get really, really shit. Like, Big Bruce Horn, yeah, it's alright, I guess. Shifting Sandland is just terrible. I don't like any of these styles other than the boss fight one, which is just meh on its own as well. Then you've also got Lethal Lava Land. I actually quite like that level, to be honest with you. Hazy Maze Cave, that level can just die in a fire. They're not very good. Like, I don't want to talk about them individually because I don't want this review to go to half an hour. I want to keep it kind of short. But at the same time, I can't do that because these levels aren't very good. I mean, fuck it. Let's settle with this. These levels aren't as good as the ones upstairs. Down. Fuck off. Okay, moving on to the next Bowser. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. I forgot about this shit. I'll be 2 seconds while I just play through one of these stars. For fuck's sake. Okay, as I was saying, moving on to the next Bowser, at least I've got something to look forward to. And to our ultimate disappointment, this is the worst Bowser level in the game. But, on the high note, this isn't necessarily a bad level. This is definitely, it's still a good level, but all the lava, it ruins it. I mean, I understand the level is called Bowser in the Fire Sea, and you need to have a sea of fire for that to be accomplished, and we need a level that's intimidating, more intimidating than the last one. I get it. The level theme itself is great. I like the idea, but the execution was poor in my opinion. I mean, the level design doesn't make sense. Like, why the fuck is there a floating box here? Oh, look, this brick's an elevator. Like, it doesn't make sense. Saying that, none of these levels make sense. They're all floating things, mabobs. But if this game got remastered, I'm sure it would be explained. Please do it, Nintendo. Anyways, yeah. I can see what they were going for, and it works, but at the same time, I'm just not a big fan. Like, the platforming challenges are completely ruined by the lava, which can just fuck your day up tremendously if you're in a bad mood. It's just a cock-up. Like, the entire level's a cock-up. I like it, but I don't like it as much as the other ones. So, yeah, moving on to Papa Bowser. Okay, so next Bowser, it comes in, everything seems fine, it looks the same, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. But we very, very soon in turn find out that our big man Beasting has got himself some brand new powers. Like this. It looks like we're in for a bad time, folks. Sans jokes aside, this boss fight is still piss easy, just like the last one. Only difference being he can do a few different things now, and that's about it really. So yeah, let's go, move on. Going to the final set of levels. These levels are still kind of meh. Like, I won't lie, they're not the best. But these levels get A for effort in terms of creativity. Like this level right here. Like, you're inside of a clock. I mean, what do you mean, fam? You're inside of a clock. That is so fucking cool. Another one, you are riding like a magic carpet around a rainbow. And then you can go to like some hidden underwater city. It's really, really cool what they do with these levels. And I really do appreciate it, the creativity levels. But at the same time, they're all just very meh. But it is safe to assume that you won't have to play many of these levels, because to actually beat the game you only need 70 stars out of 120, and by the time you get here, if you've been going back to the levels, you will definitely have 60 something, so you'll only have to play each level once, or even just play one of them, or I should say two of them, and that's it, you're done. So you don't even have to play through the bad levels, you just play through the better ones, and that's about it really. But I still give them a go. I mean, not all bad. TikTok Clock is definitely one of my favourite levels in the whole game. Simply because of its creativity and everything else like that. But, yeah. Let's move on to the final Bowser. And this, my friends, is the best Bowser level in the entire game. Simply because of its set piece, its challenge, and its level design. Obviously, this is the hardest level in the entire game. And I respect that. I mean, well, I can get through it now, without, with ease, because I've been playing this game for years. I mean, it still can prove to me quite difficult, because if I'm on one of my off days, yeah, it's difficult. If I've not played the game in a long time, yeah, I do struggle with this level, and yeah, rip one up. But I love this level. Here we go. Get the shot glasses ready again. Fun is how you define this level, and fun is how it will always be. And to me, this is the absolute pinpoint of fun in this game. I probably just killed a few people, but that's fine. It's for our entertainment. I mean, if you're not old enough to drink, and if you are playing along, Hopefully you're using milk or Ribena. I don't know what you kids drink these days. Fucking for all I know, you could be you could be down in a bowl of ketchup. But anyways, enough messing. So yeah, the final level of the game being Bowser in the sky. Yeah, the level, you know, with the skybox, it looks great. The enemy placement is great. The platforming is great. Everything about this level is great, and it shines. This level is really shiny. It blinds me. This is my favorite level in the whole game. Obviously, because of what I just said. It's fun. It's great. It's well crafted, and I enjoy it every time I play it. I enjoy this level, whether that be the original version, the DS version, whatever that may be. I love this level, and I will always love this level. It's as simple as that. Now, that with my nerdgasming out of the way of Bowser in the Sky, why don't we talk about the final boss fight itself? Yes, this is final boss music. Here we go, boys, we're in for a treat. So, as you can tell, with the amazing final boss music here, this is the final fight of the game against our boy Bowser. And you can tell Bowser is at his element, his peak of his pinnacle, because he has a rainbow tint to him. He is fully powered up with whatever he's been drinking, Red Bull, I don't know. And he is ready to take down Mario, as we are ready to take down him, because we have, you know, this amount of power stars, whatever. And it's great. He doesn't die from one bomb anymore, and he actually poses a challenge. And obviously in this footage I just breeze through it because I know what I'm doing. But once you get him for the second time, he'll have a tantrum and the stage will fall apart. And it'll turn from a circle to a star, which is really nice. And, you know, obviously one more hit, boom, he's dead. And he has some new abilities. If he jumps, he has a shockwave. He can run, teleport as he could before. He's got different flames now. But other than that, yeah, it's done with. I mean, it's not as difficult as the music would suggest it was, but it was as epic. You know, it's kind of epic. Oh, I don't know how you describe it. I'll just let the ending play. Glory and triumph. Will you leave the arena? Back to the Mushroom Kingdom. He goes. Hold the phone, my friend. There's an Easter egg. If you finish the game with all 120 stars, there's a somebody on the roof waiting for you. And you get a little teaser right there. Anyways, enough interrupting, carry on.
Stars is restored to the castle. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. We have to do something special for you.
Here we go!
Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake for Mario.
And that, my friends, is Super Mario 64, as the game ends with that genuinely beautiful cutscene, and what is probably the best credits music to ever grace gaming ever plays in the background as we get these little callbacks for credits. It gives us time to reflect on this game. It gives us time to think. It gives us time to say to ourselves, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. That was said to millions of people in the day and now. Mario 64 is an unforgettable experience from the start to the finish. And while yes, it is sad that this game is finished now, it's done with until you start a new save file, and your first time playing through it was definitely magical. Don't cry because it's finished with. Smile because this thing actually happened. If Mario 64 didn't happen, we wouldn't be where we are right now, and you wouldn't have had that amazing experience that you just had. This game is something. This game is something special. Just as the original Super Mario Bros. Was, this game should be cherished. And it's very dear to my heart, and to many, it's a nostalgia trip for me and, many others around the world. And I'm not going to rate this game on nostalgia. I'm going to rate it on what it is. Because after all, this is one of my favourite games of all time, so I am a little bit biased towards it. But at the same time, it's honest reviews, so I have to give my honest thoughts on Super Mario 64. And I'm going to give Super Mario 64 a solid 8 out of 10. It's really, really good. And I'm only going to give it an 8 because while the game is solid all the way through in terms of its quality, some of the levels really do start to wear off after a bit. Naming a few, you've got Wet Dry World, Shifting Sandland, and dare I say it, Hazy Maze Cave. Like, just those 3 levels in general, they really stink, and they just really ruin some of the game for me. I can't play through this entire game without thinking about those levels coming up and think to myself, oh, for God's sake, I have to play through them again. But all around, this game is brilliant. I've been 8-Bit Preston. This was my honest review on Mario 64. I'm going to let the cutscene finish and the music finish. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
I'm not crying. Oh my god, that's so nostalgic, dude. Fucking hell.